And the oldest, of course, being the black sheep of the family, gets to the point that I look at him. I try to look a little deeper than, sometimes we gotta look beyond the surface of behavior. It's one thing they teach us in working in social services and working with the children and adolescents is that we have to look beyond behavior. I often understand that sometimes if you just focus on the behavior, you'll never get what's behind the behavior, amen?
Amen.
Sometimes there's always something that may be going on that might just be below the surface. And so no matter how hard he tries to do good, he finds himself closer to the things of the bad. No matter how many times he tries to put his mind to do something positive, it seems like bad always finds him. And in the latest episode that I was watching, he was speaking with his younger brother, and it stuck with me because he was talking to his younger brother who actually is more of the settle-minded or the straight-minded one who keeps everybody in the family together. And he told his younger brother that one of the advantages of being what I'm going to use a nice word, a screw-up.
All right.
One of the nice things about being a screw-up is that you get to pick up and go where you want to go without a care in the world. The younger brother began to tell him, he said, he began to say that, don't you think that I want to be a screw-up sometime? You know how we feel sometimes. You know, we always got to be the accountable one. We always got to be the one that has to keep things in line. We always got to be the one that has to make the right choices. We can't afford to make the right choices. So sometimes, I mean, you know, the pastor, I know I'm sick, but sometimes I want to call off. Sometimes I don't want to show up. Sometimes I want to just stay home and sleep. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I want to miss the service or miss this, that, and the other. I know sometimes we think about it sometimes.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, we have to be there, right, man? Yeah. And so I can understand his method of thinking and saying that even though I probably enjoy most living in line and keeping things straight, sometimes I want to be the one that somebody else, that I have to rely on somebody else. And so what he's saying, he was saying sometimes I may want to be a screw up, but he said one thing he said important. He said, but I have responsibilities. And to be able to pick up and just go to and fro without a worry will not be able to do anything for me because of the responsibilities that I have. And so I began to think about this as I was looking in there because it seemed like the older brother was very happy about the way that he was. And he said that it's just good to just be a screw up so I don't have to be locked down to anything. I can go and see the world. I can go and have no limits. But I understand that I believe that sometimes this way of thinking is still in the church as well. I found that there are a lot of people going through this same mindset in life. They are busy looking for the positive outcomes of being broken. Oh, come on, somebody. And they refuse to make the effort to be made whole.
All right.
Oh, that's a struggle right now. Is that we try to look for the positive in a broken state. Because if we can see more positive being broken, we'll refuse to want to be whole. Come on.
All right.
I gotta understand, take with me on this one. Is that we gotta get out of that mindset.
That's right.
Is that we gotta understand that yes, brokenness may have helped me to get to wholeness. But if your brokenness is keeping you from wholeness, then your brokenness is not where you need to be. Oh, come on. Brokenness provides detachment. Brokenness encourages division. Brokenness provides the difficulty in forgiving others. Brokenness pulls on bitterness. Brokenness feeds off the past issues remaining in our present. We cannot rely on staying in brokenness.
That's right.
Amen.
I know it may seem like it's okay to be what we call a screw up. Because we don't have no limits, and guess what? We see the world. I see you know that there's some positive things about seeing the world and seeing the world and not being connected to everything. But guess what? At the end of the day, even though you see all those positives, guess what? You're still a screw up.
That's right. Still.
Yeah. So we don't look at that way. We say, oh, I didn't see the world. I didn't travel the world. I didn't get everything I wanted to do because I was not connected to nobody. But guess what? You're still connected to the word screw up.
That's right. That's
You know I don't cuss. I want to tell you what the real word is.
Now, Pastor.
I know, I'm staying away. So try to catch them, make sure you say the same thing as me. But sometimes that's what we get. We get so comfortable in brokenness because we see advantages in brokenness.
Oh, God.
But at the end of the day, you gotta focus more on what the brokenness is doing to you.
Yeah.
So to define the word brokenness means to reduce to fragments. To be fragmented, to be ruptured, to be torn, to be fractured, not functioning properly. This is the last one. Like out of working. working order.
Yeah.
Problem is this, is that when things in our life represent brokenness, we want them fixed. But if I have something that's fractured, ain't nobody walking around talking about, I'm okay with a fractured leg. I'll be all right. I get a good parking space with a fractured leg. You know what I'm saying? I get a free ramp at my house with a fractured leg. No, you're not gonna focus on the benefits of your fractured leg. You gonna want your leg fixed. Come on, somebody. If you got something broken in your house, what's the first thing you want to do? You want to try to see if you're gonna get it fixed. And if you can't get it fixed, then guess what you're gonna do? You ain't gonna let it just sit there. You're gonna get what? You're gonna try to find you a new one.
Yeah.
So when everything is broke around us, the first thing in our mind is to do what? To get it fixed. But when we are broken,
Oh God. Jesus.
when we are broken, we want to operate fixed, broken.
Yeah.
Now somebody missed that.
Operate.
When we are broken,
Yeah.
we want to operate fixed, broken.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, somebody. But I learned in the definition it says out of working order. So no matter how much you use something that's broken, understand that it's still out of what? Order. Come on, somebody. I don't care if the vending machine, you can reach your arm under it and get you a bag of chips. If you cannot put no money in the vending machine and push a button and it fall down, guess what? That vending machine is broken.
That's right. All right.
Ain't that like us?
Good word.
If I can reach in there and give me a free bag of chips, that's what we're going to do. That's how we live our life. We see benefits in brokenness and we don't want to fix the brokenness because we see all these benefits, and God is saying you cannot operate fixed in a broken state. God said, I did not create you to operate fixed in a broken state. I created you to be whole.
Yeah.
Somebody say,
Thank you, Lord.
I
I want to be whole. Thank you, Lord.
We get to this word, contrition. The definition of contrition is a feeling of remorse about having done something wrong. And so the thought that I had in my mind was that we cannot become comfortable in our brokenness because our comfortability will not move God. Oh, come on, somebody. See, God can see our brokenness, but if he doesn't see that you want to come out of your brokenness, then it's not going to move God.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, somebody. Pay attention to the scripture that we have for this year, Psalm 51:17, right? It says the sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. Oh God, thou will not despise. See, understand that it says God's not going to despise a broken and a contrite heart. But understand that it didn't say that you had just a broken heart. He said what? You had a broken and a contrite heart. So it doesn't just speak of just being broken, because if you just speak of being broken and he don't see that you want to come out of your brokenness, it's not moving God. I told y'all that God has the ability to do all things. He is able to do what exceeding abundantly above all that we shall ever ask or think. But we cannot activate God's ability without activating our faith. And the only way that you can activate your faith is by being in the situation and just speaking the word on your situation. And when you speak the word in the midst of your situation, even when you're broken, you can still say that, you know what, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Then guess what? It's going to cause God to move on your behalf. Even when you're in the midst of your situation and say, you know what, I will bless the Lord at all times. Even when I'm in the midst of my broken state, my broken habit, I can still say, I still will bless the Lord at all times. And his what? Praise shall continually be in my mouth. In spite of what it looks like, in spite of what it seems like, his praise shall still. When you can speak the word in the middle of your situation, your faith becomes activated and it then begins to move God.
Oh God.
And so even in your brokenness, you must be remorseful of the choices that led you to your brokenness. God is saying that we got to get to a place in time that we got to start admitting things.
All right.
Admitting things. In verse 17, it tells us that the sacrifices of God are broken spirit, are broken in the contrite heart. Oh God, thou will not despise. If you go up in 51, at the third verse in Psalm, it says, for I acknowledge my transgressions. Immediately, I acknowledge my transgressions and my sin. And my sin is ever before me. Against thee only have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. Behold, I was what? Shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. What he's saying is this, that sometimes we got to get to a place where we just got to be honest with God and say, God, you know what? I know I landed here again. And I know it was because of me. Now, this is gonna be an honest message right here. Sometimes we gotta quit blaming everything on the devil.
That's right. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Oh, y'all ain't want to hear that.
Tell the truth.
How you doing? Oh, the devil's busy. He on my back again. He didn't backslap me in my sleep. He didn't tie me up in my bed. You know, the devil's doing this. We was unfaithful to something, or we jacked something up, and here we go. The devil did it. The devil did it. Oh, no, everything, you can't give credit to the devil on everything. Right. Sometimes you just got to be able to say, for I acknowledge my transgressions. And my sin is my sin. You see, that is personal. And my sin is ever before me. Against thee, and against thee only, have what? I sinned. Sometimes you gotta say, it was my fault I ended in my broken state. It was my fault I got myself in this struggle. It was my fault. But guess what? Even though it's my fault, God, I need you to get me out of my situation. I need you to get me out of my brokenness. God, even though I landed here, God, I still need you. Somebody say, I need you, Lord.
I need you, Lord.
Come and let you know.
Yeah, Lord.
Your brokenness is not an excuse to stop your press.
Uh-huh.
We cannot bask in our brokenness. We got to make sure that our press is ever so present. If brokenness is here, refuse to disconnect. If brokenness is here, refuse to become bitter. If brokenness is here, refuse to not forgive. God is saying you got to praise your way out of your brokenness. That's what I tell you. Now, even when you're in your broken state, guess what? There is no pre-qualifications to praising God, but breathing. Come on, somebody say, somebody inhale. There you go. That's the only qualification you needed to praise God. It don't matter what you did last night. It don't matter what you did last week. It don't matter what you did last year. The only prerequisite that you have to praise God is just...
Glory, glory,
oh, it's not a time commercial. It's not a time commercial. I'm going to let you know that there's a prerequisite of praise that you're going to be able to praise God because you have breath. Because what? It says what? That everything that has breath will praise ye the Lord. So even if I'm broken, if I'm breathing and broken, I'll praise him. If I'm breathing and broke, I'll praise him. If I'm breathing and lost, I'll praise him. If I'm breathing and blind, I'll praise him.
Yeah, hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
As long as I'm breathing,
Lord.
I'm good.
I know you're right.
Don't let nobody tell you anything different.
Yeah, I know you're right.
Y'all know how people do. We mess up and screw up, and here we come to church. Sometimes all you want to do is come to church and just praise God. God, if I just praise you, I might just get this thing right. And everybody want to judge you and act like they know your business and act like they know what you're doing, but you just keep praising right in the middle of them.
I know you said.
If you got to move in front of them, you praise in front of them. Oh, I don't care what I look like. I may have a past, but God this. I don't care. I may have a history, but God, I'll praise God because guess what? As long as I am breathing. Oh my God. I'm worthy enough to praise God. As long as I have air in my lungs, and God said I am able to praise the name of the Lord.
Lord.
So we
thank you,
gotta
Lord.
get to a place that we gotta praise our way out of our brokenness.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a whole lot of things we gotta declare our way out of our brokenness. We gotta be able to claim our way out of our brokenness. But we gotta get to a place that we must come out of our brokenness. Oh, you gotta touch yourself and say, God, I must come out of my brokenness.
Let's come out of my brokenness.
Y'all just mumbled that.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, enunciate that. Say, God, I must come out of my brokenness. You can't stay in there. You can't remain there. This is sometimes you just can't let. Come on, y'all know if there's water that pours into your building or your house, you know that water just can't sit there and talk about it's going to dry up.
That's right.
Nah, there's too many things attached to water damage. Come on, somebody. So there's too many things attached to the amount of time that you spend in your brokenness. If you are in brokenness, you're going to be able to tell yourself, I got to come out of this brokenness. So in the text, we come to the point of this parable where the younger son has received his riches. Many people know this particular pericope as the prodigal son. And he receives his riches from his father, and he left town. They said he left town and he began to live riotously. And we know that sometimes that's why so many people, while they waiting for their tax returns, don't need their tax returns. Because they begin to live riotous living. Everybody sit there going to where's my refund every day? Where's my refund? If you ain't getting no alert for your TurboTax app, your refund ain't coming yet. But what it is because everybody waits for this season to come because they have riotous living. I mean, tell me, people are living the prodigal son life every year. In March, they are the prodigal son. They're dropping it. You know what I'm saying? They're coming up here by October though. They just like he gonna be in this text in verse 14. Why? Because we get too excited, and he wanted his riches, and he wanted his legacy that was being left now and not later. And so we get to this place where verse 14 it begins to say, and this part got me right then and there. Just these first couple words, and it says, and when he had spent all.
Yeah.
My God. And when he had spent all. Later on it says what? Now when he had spent everything. This is the New American Standard Bible translation. It says, now when he had spent everything, a severe famine occurred in that country, and he began to be impoverished. I said, isn't that like God when he's trying to show you a lesson? He'll wait for you to get your own self into a position where then the famine that comes now is going to affect you. See, when Christ was living, when he had the money and the famine came, he wouldn't have been able to respect the famine that came in the land. He waited for him to be empty. He waited for him to be empty first. That's kind of how our gas tanks be sometimes. That's why y'all can't drive all the way to empty. Because it's the time that your gas is low is when you got to go up the biggest hill. Oh, none of y'all been on the north side yet. On that hill right at the end of the 40th Street Bridge. Yeah. That'd be that time when you don't got no gas, you got to go up that hill. And what happens is that now all of a sudden the gas is flowing backwards, now your car can't stop. And you say, man, what is going on? But sometimes it seems like a lot of things in life happen that way. It seems like when you get to a certain part in your life or something has happened, it seems like the worst comes then. I could have probably got through the worst before. He probably could have survived the famine when he had all his riches. But it seemed like the famine came at the worst time. But sometimes you gotta understand the worst time is the best time. Come on, somebody. God is working, amen.
Amen.
But the word spent says this, having been used and unable to be used again. Think about that. The word spent. Spent means having been used. Or having been used and unable to be used again. Some of our broken seasons started right here. Felt like we have arrived to a place where we have been used, with the inability to be used again. Sometimes we bask and we sit in our brokenness because we think that we have gotten to a place where we cannot be used again. Come on, let's be honest. I have been through what I have all been through. I have withstood what I had to withstand. But if it seems like I'm at a place right now that I cannot be used again. God, I made so many mistakes. How can you use me beyond the level of disappointment that I have, even in my own self? Anybody ever been there before?
All right.
God, I gave everything I had, and I feel like nothing else is left to give. God, I spent all my time with you, and I still feel the brokenness. God, I paid all my tithes I could this year, but I still feel broke. God, I spent all my energy that I had in my marriage, but I'm still feeling the brokenness within my marriage. God, I have given and given and given everything that I had, but I have found myself still in this broken state. To the point that I'm starting to reflect my brokenness. Myself, the image of myself is starting to look like the brokenness that I'm enduring. Oh, come on, somebody. Why would I say that? Because the text said this. It said that there was a famine. And he began to look, impoverished. He began to look like the brokenness that he was living in. Oh, my God. It's been like that. That's why I said we can't last in brokenness for too long. Because what happens is that we begin to look like our brokenness. We begin to transform from I'm in brokenness to being brokenness. Now, come on, somebody. I'm broken. Now I have became brokenness. Come on, somebody. We got to get to a place that we cannot let the famine dictate what we're in. Sometimes when we fall away from God, wants us to be, we start reflecting the season of man. But I thank God that there's a season of man and then the season of spirit. Oh, come on, somebody. So when you remain spirit-led, even in the season of man, that we understand the season of man won't reflect the season of the spirit. Why would I say that? Because the season of man says that the housing market or the financial market may have collapsed, but the season of spirit still gives you more than enough. The season of man says that the storm will likely cause some deaths and fatalities, but the season of the spirit says that you are yet covered. Come on, somebody. The season of man says that this is sickness unto death, but the season of the spirit says you shall live and not die. The season of man says there's no more love within your marriage flesh, but the season of the Spirit says, love what lifted me. Come on, somebody. The season of man says, famine is in the land, but the season of the Spirit says, man cannot live by what? Bread alone.
Yeah.
Come on, somebody. The season of man says, you will lose this battle to your giants.
Yeah.
But the season of the Spirit says, victory is mine. Come on, somebody. You want to high five your neighbor and say, victory is yours.
Yeah, victory is
Well,
yours.
come on, encourage you, let you know that you are in the season of the Spirit and not in the season of man. I don't care what the season of man said. The season of man may say failure, but God said you are living in the season of the Spirit, and the season of the Spirit says victory. Oh, come on, somebody, you ought to say victory.
Victory.
It's like Christmas in July.
Yeah.
I don't care that the season says that we are living in a season of cold. We are living in the season. It's almost like walking into a place that got heat. That even though it may be 20 below outside, guess what? When you walk into a place like this, when you walk into your home and the heat is working, guess what? Your home is saying you live in summertime. Come on, somebody. I don't know about you. I feel like it is summer in here right now.
Yeah.
Come on, somebody. It is feeling hot in this place. Come on, somebody. But you understand that the climate in here is not dictated by the climate out there.
That's right.
Come on, somebody. And tell you the truth, the colder it is out there,
Yeah.
the warmer it is in here.
Yeah.
Come on, somebody. And as it gets warm out there, guess what? It'll get cooler in here out here. That's what God is doing in our lives.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the season of man, because the harder it gets in the season of man, the cooler I'll make it in the season of
Yeah.
spirit. And the
Yeah.
colder it gets in the season of man, the harder I'll make it in the spirit.
Yeah.
So it does not matter what failures come your way, amen. It doesn't matter what hardness coming your way, amen. I'm telling you right now that as long as you stay in the spirit, in the season of the spirit, God said I'll bring you victory.
Yes,
God
Lord.
said I'll bring you overcoming.
Yeah.
God said I'll bring you miracles.
Yeah.
God said I'll bring you out of what you're in, no matter how dark it may seem.
Yeah.
In the spirit of man or season of man, God said I'll bring you sight in the spirit of the season of spirit. Come on, somebody. I don't know about you, but I thank God
Thank
for
you,
the season
Lord.
of the spirit.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, somebody. I thank God for the season of the spirit.
Yeah.
That no matter what is going on the outside, no matter what's going on in the flesh, God is saying I'm come
Yeah.
to give you life.
Ah, God.
And to give you life more abundantly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you, Jesus.
it's Christmas in July.
Yeah.
I know people be like, what does that mean? But it's an oxymoronic statement. And it's things that it is. Because we understand that we can't get, even though we really ain't had snow on Christmas time this past year, thank God for it. But we understand that it don't snow in July. If snow came in July, y'all better be ready for the rapture. Amen.
Yeah.
But we understand that it doesn't snow in July, so we don't get to that place in July. But God is just sitting there saying that my spirit trumps man's season. Oh, come on, somebody. Tell you the truth, he said, my spirit trumps Trump. Come on, somebody.
Yeah.
So no matter how much damage he putting us in, no matter how everybody else is getting scared,
All
God
right
said, you
now.
ain't got to get scared of the mistakes of 45.
No,
He said,
right.
he said, all you got to do is trust in me, because guess what? I am your king's king.
Yeah.
Come on, somebody. I am the God above all gods. I am the king above all kings. I'm the one who sits high and dictates what happens low. Come on, somebody. So you don't have to be scared of anything, because guess what? Fear does not what exist.
Yeah. Thank you, Lord.
So we may be in the season of the struggle, but God, I serve a God that provides favor in the midst of the struggle. We may be in the season of death, but I serve a God that speaks life over death. And so we look at verse 15. We see this, and this is why I want to get you to the point. Because I told you, we cannot bask in our brokenness. We cannot sit in our brokenness. We cannot live. The Bible says, what? He that dwelleth in a secret place. So if you dwell in a secret place, that means you can't dwell in brokenness. Oh, come on, somebody. The same way we can't serve two gods, the same way we can have two locations that we reside in. Where are you dwelling?
Amen. All right now.
So he says, you see that he was ready to settle. His mindset was ready to settle. He was letting his brokenness define his worth. Why would I say that? When this text says this, so he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of the country where he was in. And he sent him into the fields to feed swine. And he would have gladly filled his stomach with the pods that the swine were eating. And no one was giving him anything. Let me understand, this is frustrating. When you get to a place in time that you saying to yourself that I want to eat what the pigs is eating. Now, I don't know if anybody ever seen pigs in real life or even on TV. You see when they start eating, that's nasty.
Yeah.
But when you get to a place and you get to a low spot in your life that you would rather eat what the pigs is eating, you are low.
Yeah.
You are what? Broken.
Yeah.
Amen.
And what he did was that when I said the statement of he was letting his brokenness define his worth, it was that he was settling into a place that pretty much made him equal to pigs. Where he said to himself, I'll fill my stomach up with slop. Because where I am at right now. And what happens is this, is that we get ourselves into a place in our lives that we allow our brokenness to define us. So instead of thinking about wholeness, we'll just be defined by our brokenness. And we'll accept our brokenness. We all know that if we were buying something from somebody, and let the Lord behold, if y'all was in the store, y'all seen even a dented can, you're trying to get a discount off of a dented can. No matter if the green beans are 27 cents, you're trying to get it for 16 cents now because the can is dented. Come on, somebody. So what happens is that you're trying to tell the owner or the store clerk that guess what? This is no longer of a value because it's what dented.
Oh, God.
And so if there was something that somebody was trying to sell to us broke, the first thing we would say, are you going to take something off?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because the object is not worth the same broken as it was worth whole. I can go home on that. Drops mic.
Go ahead, Dom.
It's not worth the same broken
Jesus.
as it's worth whole.
Yeah.
And that was his mentality. I came from a rich place, but I am not worth what I was when I was whole to where I am at now. So he then settled in his brokenness by equating himself to pigs.
Man.
This is deep. This is a Sunday school lesson. I come to encourage you that you are worth more than your condition. I want to let you know that even if you're broken right now, you're worth more than your issue. I want to let you know that you're worth more than your problem. I want to know that you're worth more than your struggle. You don't have to settle in your brokenness. Somebody just encourage yourself and say, I don't have to settle in my brokenness. I know everyone can see your struggle, but you're greater than your struggle. I know everybody can see because understand that he wasn't going through this thing by himself. People seen him. Why did I say that? Because the text says they wouldn't even give it to him. He was over there licking his chops at slop.
Jesus.
And when he asked for it, they didn't even give it to him. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
To be in a place, and they say slop is basically things that we as humans don't want. They call it what? Waste. They say they'll put an empty pail out, and all the waste will go into a bucket. And they would take this bucket of waste and give it and feed it to the pigs. This dude was so much in a broken state that they wouldn't even let him eat what the pigs were eating.
My.
So imagine how he felt when he said that I'm not even good enough to eat what the pigs eat. Oh my God. And some of us go to the same thing sometimes. Is that the world, we go to the church, and you know how we supposed to do this song. I searched all over, couldn't find nobody. We go to the church and ask for something, but we have distanced ourselves from it because we were broken. Then we go to the world and look for something, and the world says you can't get what we got either. And what happens is that we just end up settling in our brokenness. And we understand that we have to understand time after time that we are greater than our brokenness. Because he was ready to settle and eat with the pigs. You ask yourself, are you ready to settle and eat with the pigs? Are you settling and eating with pigs? Are you putting yourself up close and connecting or even beneath pigs? Because understand this. Because eating with pigs causes you to accept whatever is given to you. Eating with pigs presents to you what others don't want. Eating with pigs is undesirable. Eating with pigs transforms what was once unappealing into something delightful. That's a dangerous thing. When something can be unappealing to you all your life, and all of a sudden it becomes delightful. Something that you shunned upon and said, I will never do that. I will never get into that. All of a sudden you cause yourself delighting in it. You gotta come to understand that brokenness attracts you to things you're not attracted to. Oh my God, today. Well, brokenness makes you find what you were not searching for. Brokenness makes you love what you're supposed to hate and to hate what you're supposed to love. Oh, come on, somebody. Brokenness places you in the fields with pigs. When you get yourself in the predicament where you are in the fields with pigs, you begin liking things that you're not supposed to like. You begin loving things that you knew all your life that you hated. We got to get to a place that we got to not let our brokenness attract us to things that were once undesirable. But the greatest thing about this as I close is verse 17 says this. And when he came to himself, other translation says, when he came to his senses. In the New Century Version, I love when he says this, when he realized what he was doing. And sometimes God just brings us to that point where we get to a place in our life where we just snap out of the confusion that we are in, when we snap out of the brokenness that we're in. At some time, you may get to a place where you have been settling in brokenness. But I thank God that we serve a God that will bring us to our senses. Come on, somebody. Some of us got to get that in our mind right now. Say, God, help me come to my senses. Come on, somebody. Oh, come on. Sometimes all it takes is to realize what you are doing to your own self. Once again, it was not the devil. It was not the enemy on you. It was nobody else. But sometimes we get into our brokenness and we stay in our brokenness is because of what you're doing to your own self. I know it feels good to blame the devil because it's somebody they can say and blame it on. But sometimes you have to understand what you are doing to your own self. The Bible says when he realized what he was doing. Come on, somebody. It was my decision that led me to where I am today. It was my choice that put me in the valley. It was me who led me astray. We are in the season when we got to get our own mind right. Somebody say, get my mind right. Oh, come on. There's no more point in complaining about where you are until you figure out where you want to go. Come on, somebody. You got to get to a place in your life where you got to say, I want to come out of my brokenness. I want to come out of my situation. You will stay in your situation until you're ready to come out. Paul Shepherd said this best. He said, you cannot go where God wants you to go until you own where you are now. Oh, come on, somebody. At the end of the day, just the topic of our lesson is that you have to regain consciousness. Some of us are walking around unconscious, and we think that we are conscious. You know how most people, black people say, you ain't woke, you ain't woke. And some of us are not woke. We sleep. We're sleeping walking. We dead man walking. We walking dead. We look alive, but we not dead. We just doing this to people. We eating up everything and getting in different places. But God is saying that it's time for you to regain consciousness. It's time for you to wake up out of your slumber. It's time for you to get out of your brokenness. Because God is saying you got to regain your consciousness. Somebody say regain consciousness. Oh, come on, y'all. I ain't saying like y'all really need. Come on, somebody say regain consciousness. Oh, you got to regain consciousness in your mind. You got to regain consciousness in your heart. Regain consciousness in your spirit. You got to regain consciousness in your anointing. Regain consciousness in your love. You got to regain consciousness in your press toward the mark of the pride of the higher calling which is in Christ Jesus. We got to regain consciousness in our posture, in our praise, in our worship, and in our prayer life. God said you got to regain consciousness.
Thank you, Lord.
It's time to regain consciousness. We just got to. We can no longer settle in our brokenness because you are so-called making it in your brokenness. God is saying that we got to be woke. We got to remain woke.